Emilia, and this is KiniNews. BN has sent a letter of demand to two Perikatan National leaders. This was over claims that BN chairperson Ahmad Zahid Hamidi was the mastermind behind court cases against PN leaders. Barisan Nasional has sent a letter of demand to Perikatan Nasional chairperson Muhyiddin Yassin and its information chief Azmin Ali. This is over their remarks accusing BN chairperson Ahmad Zahid Hamidi of being the mastermind behind the charges brought in court against former Bersatu information chief Wan Saiful Wanjan. They said the allegations were false and demanded that the two leaders issue an open apology, retract their remarks, and pay compensation. In a statement, BN Communications Director Shamsul Anwar Nasara said Zahid has never abused his position to get Perikatan Nasional leaders charged and was focused on managing the nation's affairs. Shamsul claimed that through the series of accusations, it was clear that both individuals in Perikatan Nasional are creating various excuses to hide corruption in the coalition. He said the act of pointing fingers is seen as their usual move to cover up weaknesses and make themselves look like victims of political persecution. Previously, Muhyiddin had expressed his regret and sadness, saying selective prosecution is being carried out against the party leadership. This came after Wan Saiful was charged with corruption. The former Prime Minister also claimed the prosecution against Bersatu had been hinted at by Zahid before this. A past lawmaker who is facing a lawsuit from Anwar Ibrahim has expressed concern that Anwar may only be remembered by the public as the father of lawsuits. A past lawmaker is worried that Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim may end up being remembered by the public as the father of lawsuits. Pendang MP Awang Hashim, who is facing a lawsuit from Anwar, said this is the image that Anwar is creating by going after his critics with lawsuits.
Saya risau sekiranya nanti rakyat kenang Yang Amat Berhormat Tambun sebagai Perdana Menteri, bapa saman negara. Kerana mengamalkan budaya fear-mongering dengan izin. Menakutkan orang yang menegur. Kalau dia boleh ditegur, mengapa kita tak boleh? Saya gusar nanti Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri takut dengan bayang-bayang sendiri sekiranya terus berlarutan. Sekian, terima kasih.
Awang added that it was the opposition's job to speak up to the Prime Minister. However, he said Anwar was not able to handle the criticism. He added that he had also printed various articles which he claimed proved that Anwar was vindictive. Anwar had issued two letters of demand against Awang over alleged defamation. The first was for Awang's remarks last week, calling Anwar a more vindictive Prime Minister than former Premier Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. The second letter was over the past MP reportedly questioning Anwar's legitimacy as Prime Minister. Past lawmaker Dr. Halima Ali has issued an apology over her remarks in the Dewan Rakyat 2 weeks ago. Kapar MP Dr. Halima Ali issued an apology in the Dewan Rakyat today over her remarks linking low-quality food to cancer, autoimmune diseases, and autism. This came after another lawmaker tried to refer her to Parliament's Rights and Privileges Committee. In her statement read out in the Dewan Rakyat today, Halima said she was only looking out for the public's interest. The past lawmaker used a Malay metaphor of putting one's hands together as a sign of apology.
Andai ada ucapan disalah erti, saya menyusud 10 jari. Niat di hati, suara rakyat saya juarai. Semak imbang kerajaan madani.
Halima also reiterated her calls to refer to the Parliament's official transcript or Hansard with regards to her remark. She said this in response to Bandar Kuching MP Kelvin Yee's motion to refer her to the Rights and Privileges Committee for uttering untrue and irresponsible remarks in regard to autism and disabilities. On February 14th, while debating the royal address, Halima had cautioned the government against providing low-quality food to the public, claiming it could expose them to cancer and autism. Halima's remarks were widely criticized, including by autism groups. She has denied that she was talking about Menu Rahma, citing how she had not used the word menu in her speech on February 14th and blamed the media for the backlash against her. The Menu Rahmah program was introduced by the government in January as an effort to tackle the rising cost of living. Under the initiative, eateries and businesses would provide meals at 5 ringgit and below.
The police has responded to Lawyers for Liberty's criticism on the arrest of 2 teenagers over a rant on the SPM history paper.
Police said it had acted within the law when they arrested 2 students over an alleged rant on the SPM history paper. In a statement, Hulu Selangor District Police Chief Sufyan Abdullah said the arrests followed legal provisions and all are subject to the law, including students. He said this in response to Lawyers for Liberty's criticism of the arrests. The 2 teenagers were arrested on Friday night after the police raided their homes following a teacher's police report against them. This was over a 36-second video on social media which showed one of the teenagers in school uniform ranting against the creator of the SPM history paper and showing his middle finger. He was also heard making disparaging remarks about a neighboring country. The students were remanded for 2 days. Sufyan, however, said they were granted an early release at 11 a.m. yesterday. Yesterday, Lawyers for Liberty condemned what it described to be a heavy-handed approach by police against the students. LFL Director Zaid Malik said even if there were unsavory comments uttered, it does not warrant the intervention of the police force. He said it should have been a matter for the school authorities and their parents. Meanwhile, Education Minister Fadlina Sidek assured that the 2 students will be allowed to continue with their SPM examinations. She also reminded all students and teachers to not issue any statements which will disrupt the harmony between race, religion, nation, and international relations.
The nomination period for the UMNO party election came to a close yesterday, and former Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob has confirmed that he will not be defending his vice president position.
Former Prime Minister Ismail Sabri Yaakob has confirmed that he will not defend his UMNO vice president position. He said this when contacted by Malaysia Kini yesterday. However, he did not want to comment on the reasons, adding he would issue a press statement soon. Ismail Sabri became an UMNO vice president after he won the position in the 2018 UMNO election. Meanwhile, Barisan Nasional Secretary General Zambri Abdul Qadir has withdrawn from contesting for the position. Zambri announced the decision in a Facebook post last night after taking into consideration his official duty as the foreign minister in the government. According to Zambri, he also wanted to give priority to strengthen inter-party ties within BN and between parties in the unity government. He added that he is still offering himself to defend his post as a member of UMNO Supreme Council in the UMNO 2023 to 2026 term election. UMNO is holding its internal polls for the vice presidency, Supreme Council posts, and divisional committee posts on March 18th. The party has 3 vice president posts. So far, 8 party leaders have submitted their nomination forms to run in the race, including 2 incumbents Muhammad Khalid Nordin and Madzir Khalid.
Still on the UMNO polls, one of the party's vice president candidates has dismissed claims on the existence of factions among candidates in UMNO's polls next month as just assumptions.
Pahang Menteri Besar Wan Rosdi Wan Ismail has denied the existence of factions among candidates in the race for the vice president posts in UMNO's polls next month. Wan Rosdi, who is one of the 7 candidates in the running for the 3 vice president posts, said the claims were just assumptions. He said the claims on the alleged existence of pro-presidential, anti-presidential and independent camps in the contest this time was just a view of 2 or 3 figures. Wan Rosdi added that the vice president contest is open to all and they are all offering themselves to serve the party if given the opportunity and trust. Wan Rosdi said that he hoped campaigning and the competition for the post will be healthy. Apart from Wan Rosdi, also in the running for the vice president posts are two incumbents, namely Kota Tinggi MP Muhammad Khalid Nordin and Padang Terap UMNO Division Head Madzir Khalid. The others are Titiwangsa MP Johari Abdul Ghani, Simpang Renggam MP Hasni Muhammad, Pengerang MP Azalina Othman Said and UMNO Supreme Council member Rizal Merican Naina Merican.
Perikatan Nasional has been confirmed as the winner of the Gua Musang parliamentary seat. This comes after a court rejected the election petition filed by BN.
The High Court in Kota Baru has quashed an election petition filed by a representative of BN's Gua Musang candidate Tengku Razaleigh Hamzah. With this, the victory of Perikatan Nasional's Muhammad Azizi Abu Naim for the Gua Musang parliamentary seat in the 15th general election is confirmed. The court accepted the three issues in the preliminary objection raised by Azizi as the respondent to the election petition, which was that the petition was filed outside the permitted time frame of 28 days according to the Election Offences Act 1954. Second, that the appointment of the petitioner's lawyers was not in accordance with the provisions of the same law. Third was that the petitioner failed to provide details on his bribery allegation, like complete information on the agent of the bribe giver, causing the petition to be defective and invalid. In GE15, Tengku Razaleigh failed to retain the Gua Musang seat for a 12th time when he lost to Bersatu's Azizi by a majority of just 163 votes. A petition to challenge the Gua Musang election results was filed on January 3rd and Azizi then submitted his preliminary objection to cancel it.
And that is all from me today. For more stories, you can go to KiniTV.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook for the latest news updates. If you'd like to support independent media, do consider subscribing to MalaysiaKini.com. I'm Kimilia. Thanks for watching.